Well, hello, everyone. Greetings wherever you may be, awakened humans, starseeds, and light workers across the planet. I'm your host, Joan of Angels. We have an exciting show today. We have my co-host, Victoria Reynolds, and we have a deep dive into quantum healing. So get ready for that. How are you, Victoria?
I'm fabulous, Joan. You know me. We talk to each other practically 100 times a day.
Well, that's good resonance. Good resonance. All right. It's good to see you. So, guys, we have a wonderful guest, Tom Palladino. I want to tell you a little bit about him. He works in the field of quantum healing. He's actually got an incredible work that he's doing. It's scalar technology. Scalar energy, as he's going to tell us, is the fundamental life force found everywhere in the world, space, and universe. And he has been doing this since his undergraduate years. He's been inspired to start a company that actually sends quantum healing. We can use that word, quantum energy, around the world, uplifts the frequency, and does tremendous work. I'm going to let Tom tell you himself, but I just want to say Victoria and I have both had an opportunity to work with Tom, and that's why we're back out here wanting to share. I mean, we need miracles, guys, on this planet now for everything that's coming out. So, Tom, I'm really happy to see you again.
It is my pleasure. Ladies, thank you. Joan, Victoria, a pleasure once again. Thank you.
I know. Well, the energy means on the planet, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know how you feel, Victoria, but it seems like we really need to clean up the airwaves, is what my guys just said. Use that word. We're going to clean up the airwaves of all toxicities that are in there. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the air itself is toxic, and we're breathing it in every day. So how can we keep our bodies clean and pure? We do everything we can, eating the right food and meditating and doing all the right processes, but it's there in everything. So we help our bodies heal, stay clean and pure however we can, so that we can continue to we're going through an upgrade right now. So how can we assist this upgrade?
And shift our own DNA template. And that's where Tom comes in. So Tom, tell us a little bit about what you're doing so everyone can have an understanding why we are so excited about having you back on the show.
Okay, we're going to speak about scalar energy or consciousness. And this is a little bit of a technical viewpoint, but I am working with scalar energy instruments. So this is not a psychic event. I am a scientist, I'm a researcher, and I've developed scalar energy instruments, what some people might call 0-point energy. And why is this important? Well, it's a new science, it's emerging science, and it offers such great promise. Look at the technology around us today and what we've achieved. Well, I'm saying that scalar energy, no pun intended, I guess, will provide a quantum leap for mankind. This is a new technology that will change the world. I follow in the footsteps of men like Tesla, Morey, and Hieronymus, who have likewise developed scalar energy instruments. And the point of the matter, the very quiddity is this: when you can control and harness this energy, you have mastery over the physical universe. Scalar energy is responsible for instructing the physical universe. So with the scalar energy instrument, you have, if you will, this vantage point to control physical matter.
That's a lot to take in.
It is. It's quite profound. So let me explain. What I mean. I've discovered that scalar energy holds together a molecule or an atom. So if I look at my two fingers as representing a covalent bond or a hydrogen bond, scalar energy or scalar intelligence holds together that hydrogen bond. So let's say you're the herpes virus. And let's say there's a hydrogen bond that holds together the nucleic acid of the herpes virus. A scalar energy instrument will look at that hydrogen bond and negate it. disrupt the hydrogen bond. As a result, what happens? The genome, the genomic structure of the herpes virus falls apart. It fragments. Now, that's one of the things I've discovered with my instrument. And I guess in the future, if we understand scalar energy to a greater extent, we'll be able to manipulate other types of matter. But I have made a career of being able to access the genetic structure or the molecular structure of a microbe, a virus, a bacterium, a fungus, a protozoan, and then to negate or disassemble those molecular bonds. So consider what I'm saying with light, with energy. I'm able to work in the quantum field. It's non-physical, it's informational. There's no chemicals involved, it's information. And send energy into the quantum field and seek out a virus and then just negate those molecular bonds. And what happens? The virus disassembles, it falls apart into elements, into proteins. And this is going to be quite topical for people today because we are assailed by microbes.
In everything around us, in the air, in the soil. But so now we can't see this energy, right? Is this related to Tesla energy?
It is.
I know it's hard to wrap our heads around, right, Victoria?
Well, so it's really interesting when I met Tom, and I might have told both of you this story. I was in the middle of writing my book, the one I just finished, Recreating Earth. I don't know, Tom, if you remember talking about this, but I was channeling, this is a book that actually came from Metatron about the future. And he was telling me that in the future, we will be able to pull energy out of thin air and that we will power everything with this energy. And it actually is the energy that we power ourselves with. And so that message came in. And then the next morning, I had the interview with you. And it was interesting. So for me, I'm grasping it. For me, it's difficult because I can see the future, and trying to take what I see in my mind's eye and putting it to words is a little bit difficult. But I understand it because I was shown visually how it works.
Yes.
Well, there's a lot to talk about. So we're taking energy from the sun and from quantum field, and you're processing it in a way, and you don't need a person. Now, like, how do you discover how do we do this with you? How does that work? This kind of seeming miracle.
It is. It's miraculous. Thank you for saying that. So when we're working in the quantum field, you do not have to be physically present. Remember, in the quantum field, you're everywhere. You can bilocate or you can multi-locate. So let me explain the process. If somebody were to email me a photograph, I would actually take a photograph and place it inside an instrument. This is my photograph that has scalar signatures, that has scalar character. And when I place a person's photograph inside a scalar energy instrument, I'm able to make a connection with that person in the quantum field. And again, this is not a biological process. It's an informational process. And I've worked with people around the world by way of their emailed photograph. Mm-hmm. So in effect, in practice, a scalar energy instrument can identify microbes, bacteria, fungi, viruses in the quantum field, send the information into the quantum field, and negate or destroy those microbes. Now, by way of an analogy, if I can work with somebody remotely, I can also speak with somebody remotely on a cell phone. So if a cell phone can identify a phone number, and I can speak to somebody at a distance by way of a cell phone, and deliver information, then likewise, I can identify somebody by their photograph and send information, instructions into the quantum field. Yes, this is invisible. Yes, this is consciousness. And this is the new science in which a person, by way of their photograph, can bilocate to my laboratory, and I can access their quantum field, their consciousness through a scalar energy instrument.
So it reminds me then, I'm a dowser. I just took off my necklace. But with dowsing, one of the things I learned is that I could dowse a photo or a map and send energy to it, so it's actually used, and that's known as ether, right? The substance that we're working with, that field. So in a sense, it's the same way of sending, if we were to send energy healing out to you,
Yes.
we would feel that same thing.
Precisely. Dowsing is a function of scalar energy. Exactly. Precisely. So now we see the science behind these events. Clairvoyance, dowsing, prophecy, remote healing. All of this is actuated by that field of consciousness, or what some people call the field or the force field. Some people say it's responsible for the law of attraction. Others say that this is a way that you develop intention or creativity, or these are your actual brain waves. They're scalar waves. Now, all of those speak to the point. So this is this new field, scalar energy, 0 point energy. Tesla was the one who really kicked it off. Tesla was the first one, in my estimation, who could control scalar energy. And I say this time and time again, we should have paid attention to him because he developed free energy. His instruments could have changed the world.
Yeah, I think so. Now, how long have you been working with the scalar energy, Tom?
It's 50 years now, going on 50 years.
50?
Yeah, 50.
You don't even look that old, just to say. Okay. Okay, so 50.
I am 63 years of age. This has been a lifelong endeavor. It's a lot
So
of
since
work.
13, then you were impassioned, probably inspired by Tesla. Is that it?
Yes. I read Tesla when I was a youngster, and I said, this is it. I knew Tesla had this incredible prowess, this intellectual ability, and that he had indeed captured free energy. Now, make no mistake, scalar energy is from the sun and the star. We will not need power plants in the future. Now, imagine all the power plants, all of the transponders, satellites, electrical wires. Imagine everything that represents the military-industrial complex. All of that can be pushed aside with free energy from the sun and the stars. That is wireless energy, clean energy, leaves no carbon footprint. This is the footprint for the future. This is the blueprint for perfection. This is the new age of peace that we're coming into.
Wow. You know what, Tom? And I've had this vision for the last year as I'm driving around and I see all these wires. And I know that in the future, all these telephone wires and electrical wires, those are all going to be gone. And thank you for explaining how, because I've been asking myself, well, how is it that they're going to just disappear? We're not going to need any of those, the towers and all that stuff. It's going to be so beautiful to not look outside and wires everywhere.
You're absolutely right. All of that will be replaced with a different paradigm, a different model, which is scalar energy. And that is why over 100 years ago that the robber barons were very intimidated by scalar energy and Tesla's work, because those robber barons understood that scalar energy would make obsolete coal and steel mills,
right,
and AC electricity. And much of the transportation system would have changed. And you would not have needed railroads, and you would not have needed telephone wires and copper wires. You sell copper for the wire, etc. All of that would have been pushed to the wayside, made obsolete by way of scalar energy. Free energy from the sun. If the sun is the power plant, well, then you don't need power plants on Earth. Your power plant is the sun. Oh, that would have changed the landscape of the financial and economic landscape of the world.
Yeah, it would have. But now, what do you think of the fact that they're blocking the sun with all the chemtrails, and some new companies coming out thinking that if we just block the sun's rays?
Yeah. Isn't that foolish? I mean, even it's such convoluted thinking to think that you can change the course of nature, and you think that by chemtrails or some other type of aluminum particulate dispersed throughout the atmosphere, that will reflect the rays of the sun back. What are the long-term implications here? That's foolish. So what am I getting at? Scalar energy is back to nature. And those of you who love the ecology, you will love scalar energy. There's no chemicals. It's pure energy from the stars. There is no residue. There is no puff of smoke. It's perfect. It is life abetting. It in no way impinges upon our health. It in no way leaves any type of residue or any type of it doesn't degrade nature. So this is the perfect energy to work with. There's no negative consequences.
So, Tom, I know you work with a lot of people around the world.
Yep.
Where would you say, and you've sent me some information about the AIDS clients that you've worked with.
Yes.
You want to talk about some of your success stories, or
please? And I'll have the audience to discern this matter. And it's all a matter of really of interpretation, because this is a new science and there is no textbook to follow. This is groundbreaking. So bear with us as we write the textbook. We're writing the textbook as we speak. Okay, to speak to that point, I'm working with people around the world. I'm working with an HIV clinic in Delhi, India. We do a lot of humanitarian work. And by the way, I've never been to India. And people from Delhi, India will send me a photograph. Now, this is in particular, that's one of the photographs from Delhi, India.
Oh, I can put that one up. I think I have that one.
The group is called Om Prakash. Thank you, Joan. Now, Om Prakash, as you see in the sign, is an HIV clinic in Delhi, India, and they're working in conjunction with us. And simply stated, people from this HIV/AIDS clinic email me photographs. Now, in particular, the man at the center with the orange-colored shirt on, in 2017, his name is Sahil. He's the founder of this group. So Sahil in 2017 submitted his photograph to me. He was HIV positive for 13 years. And after he submitted his photograph to me, his health returned. He feels fine and vibrant. Well, he had a follow-up PCR test. And after the scalar energy sessions through his photograph, Sahil reported to me that he no longer had any viral load. He was undetectable for the first time in 13 years. And ever since he submitted his photograph to me, he's never had a viral load. So I'll allow your audience to interpret that. Again, this is an emerging science, but I think it's becoming quite apparent as to what we can do in the quantum field.
Right. Okay. I know that to be true, because it's okay. Let's look at this slide.
Okay. Now, this is actually from Sahil, the founder of Om Prakash. And I know that the writing is small, but I'll read just really quick the purple section, the testimony. I am HIV positive from 13 years. I am also the founder, president of Om Prakash Network of People Living with HIV/AIDS, a community-based organization working in Delhi, India. And he goes on to say that he submitted his photograph to me. And after he submitted his photograph to me, his viral load went from 38,000 milliliters per 38,000 copies per milliliter to zero, undetectable. And I'm going to quote him. A year ago, my viral load went from 38,000 copies per milliliter of blood. Now, recently, I've checked my viral load and it's come to zero. It is amazing. Even the doctor cannot believe it. And then he adds, my CD4 count lymphocytes are increasing, which usually happens once you destroy the HIV virus. Your lymphocytes regroup and they flourish. Mm-hmm. So he concludes by saying, we are requesting all our clients to go for the viral test. We hope all who are taking scalar energy tests will have a good result. And then in the white section below his testimony, he shows his viral load. That's the after PCR test. Mm-hmm. And the PCR test is not detected. There's no detectable viral load. So for the first time in 13 years, since this man was infected with the HIV virus, he has no viral load. Now, that was a clarion call to him, and he realized that there was something unique about this. And he went to the point that he's introduced this to the entire clinic. And as of this conversation, over 5,000 people from Om Prakash have submitted their photograph to me. Why not? You have nothing to lose from it, right? So I have worked with 5,000 people. This is our clinical study at Om Prakash. Here's another PCR test, another person who once had a positive PCR reading for HIV. This individual submitted likewise their photograph to me. And you can see from the red arrow that the HIV is not detected. Now, these individuals don't want to use their name, so I don't force them. But this individual in 2019 had a follow-up PCR test, and there was no viral load. And the only distinction, the only exception that we can see from anybody's regimen is that they submitted their photograph to me. That is, there is a control group in India, and those people, the control group, still have the HIV virus. And the experimental group that has provided me their photograph for a treatment with their photograph, everybody that I've worked with by way of their photograph, every person is now undetectable. There's no viral load for everybody that I've worked with in Delhi, India.
So they sent you their test, you've confirmed it. You don't even have to meet them in person to do this work.
That's right.
Right?
You see what a game changer this is now. We're able to transcend time and space. You do not have to visit a clinic. I don't profess to be a medical professional. I'm a scalar energy researcher. So this is informational science. This certainly is not biological science. And I work with people through the quantum field, through the energy field. I don't work with flesh and bone. I work with a person's scalar energy signature or their quantum field. Why? Because it's so much easier working in the quantum field. When you work with energy, you can get things done quickly. When you're working with flesh and bones, when you have to deal with physical reality, it's slow. It belabors. So I'd much rather work in the quantum field where all action is instantaneous. Now, I'll be very blunt about this. After working with 5,000 people in Delhi, India, and everybody reports to me that they feel better, and those who go so far as to have a follow-up PCR test, everybody reports that they no longer have any viral load. Well, that's not chance. That's beyond a mistake. That's, there is nobody can explain that away. I understand sometimes PCR tests are flawed, but after 5,000 people say that they feel better, and the only exception to their protocol, to their health regimen, is they submitted a photograph to me. 5,000 people cannot be wrong. This is far beyond any statistical abnormality.
It's interesting because as a chiropractor, I actually believe in evidential evidence. It's like the science never validated chiropractic for all the years I practiced until recently, but people had experiences that validated it. I wanted to give a little testimonial by one of our followers, Blessed by the Best. So you were on the show a year ago. She submitted her photograph and she noticed a great expansion. Mm-hmm. And I've been on Scalar this last year, guys, just so you know, and I put my kids on it too. And what I've noticed is I've had a very stressful year, a lot happening, but my energy has been like I'm 30 years younger. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to tell you guys what that means, but I feel I have energy all the time. And when I was thinking about it, I was thinking that's the only thing I've really done differently. That I could say I wake up and most of the time I'm feeling really good with good energy. Both my kids, they're not even sure what's happened to them, but they've been doing great too. So I just my whole life, ever since I learned about energy, just in a simple form between us, hands-on energy and dowsing, I've been a fan of this kind of healing. I think it's really profound what you can do. And I also noticed, Tom, you don't just do healing. Every so often you'll send out photos of Jesus and Mother Mary. Like, what is that about?
Well, I realize that everything has a rate or, if you will, a character. So many times when I find a photograph of Jesus or Mother Mary, I work with that because you can download their essence into a person's photograph. So this is quite profound. We're working at warp speeds instantaneously, And if I match up, say, a photograph of Jesus vis-a-vis another person's photograph, then they receive the essence of Jesus. This is quite profound. This new science in which you can share information from Jesus with the person. Again, this is informational. This is not a biological process. So the world is open. Tesla was right. Tesla once remarked that if we study non-physical science, we'll make great progress in a decade, greater progress than we've ever made in centuries studying the physical sciences. Why? Because non-physical science, information, instructions, consciousness dictates the physical universe. So the cause, we should really pinpoint the cause, not concentrate so much on the effect. Get behind the wheel of a car and drive the car. That's the cause. You don't want to push your car from the back on the rear bumper. Sadly, today, we don't realize that consciousness is the cause, is the very steering wheel of the universe.
So actually, this is interesting, Victoria. Like, you can, when you send out these images of Jesus, Mother Mary, Magdalene, and or Buddha, when you send out these images, and can you send it out globally? Like, do you have a picture of the globe, like of the earth, that you can surround it and raise the frequencies of the earth? I've always been obsessed with this, just so you know.
Yeah. To answer that question, yeah, good point, Joan. I do have a photograph. I have a satellite view of the earth, and I frequently treat the earth with this energy, what some people would call consciousness or Christ consciousness. Yes. So some people go to the point that if they buy a new home or a new car, they want me to treat it. Why? They want this blessing. They want this divine energy upon their new home or their new car. But I frequently work with satellite photographs of the earth, asking God to bless us.
See, guys, I knew it. Because the day I met you years ago, I remember this. It was like 2016. And I thought, oh my God, this energy can heal the planet. Oh, we're not going to use that word. It can offer upgraded vibrational frequency.
Yes. Yeah, it's almost unlimited what you can do with this. If this energy dictates nature, if this is the consciousness of the universe, if this serves as the instructions of the universe, well, if you can control scalar energy, you can control the instructions, the blueprint of the universe. That is my statement, and I stand by that. And Tesla realized that. Tesla knew that this energy was from the sun. He made various comments that he knew that this was solar energy, and that he realized that this would really give us mastery over nature. If you look at any invention, you're subduing nature, you're controlling nature. If you're in a car, what are you doing? You're controlling gravity. You're going from point A to point B at a high speed. Well, any invention, I'm speaking to you through a computer. That's an invention. And we're in some way subduing nature. We have dominion over nature. Well, the ultimate tool to have dominion over nature is scalar energy. So once you can control nature, you can do anything. You can create paradise. That's what I purport. This is my goal.
Anything you want to say, Victoria?
Okay, so I had myself muted. Yeah, Tom, what I want to share, kind of piggyback on what Joan was saying, because you had me on the scalar energy treatments as well. And what I've been noticing is that over the last year, all these people complaining about how tired they are because of the energy shifts in the universe, and that as we get flooded with these solar waves, how their energy goes up and down. I haven't been experiencing that. I've been experiencing just a nice, steady energy level. I don't get those energy ups and downs that everybody else is talking about. So I'm like, I don't know. I feel fine.
I concur. I never have a runny nose. I never have congestion. I'm always charged with this energy. The chakra balancing that I perform every day gives me a surge of energy. Now, I haven't been laid up in years. I'm on Scalar. It really does abet your spiritual, your mental, your physical health. So, this is not hyperbole. Visit my website. There's 3,000 or 4,000 testimonies. I don't think that's hyperbole. Or, consider Om Prakash, in which 5,000 people feel better after a scalar energy session, and nobody has a viral load for HIV. So there has to be some cause and effect relationship here. And what is the cause? It's scalar energy. And the upshot is it abets health, human and animal health.
Right. And, it's interesting about health, because I believe health comes from within. I have more of an Eastern chiropractic philosophy, not a Western mind about health. But whatever we can do to build up our health from the inside out, then is going to make us strong then. And that's how I experienced the scalar. I felt like it was turning on my energy, my spine, my connection to source in an easier way. I mean, I didn't even think about it until I sat down and started to say, well, because it is subtle. But when I looked at it for a year since I last saw you, I can say my health is probably close to a 9-10, which I don't know if many people can actually say that anymore.
You're right. Because let's face it, we're assailed by microbes, and there are chemtrails, there are pollutants. And this is what I've made a career out of, being able to eradicate pollutants, toxins, being able to eradicate microbes, even newly emerging microbes. So I think this offers mankind great promise. And ladies, thank you again for experiencing the sessions, for realizing that there is validity to consciousness. It's non-physical. I realize that. It's invisible. I get that. But nonetheless, it's there. And it has a profound influence upon people and animals. Profound. My dog has been on it since he was a puppy. And it has really served to improve his health. He's a St. Bernard. It works. I even work sometimes with farm animals. Farmers will send me photographs of chickens and cows and horses.
So we have a question. Is this I don't know who Jason Shirker is, but are other people using the same kinds of technology?
I don't know. My instruments were modeled after an inventor by the name of Galen Hieronymus, and he's passed. So he no longer is inventing or manufacturing instruments. So my instruments are unique from that design. So I can't speak about other people in the field. I know many people are trying to research scalar energy, but my approach is unique. My instruments are unique. My approach is unique. Hence, my results are unique.
I love it. That's why we're talking with you today, Tom. Everything these days happens to be about consciousness in the quantum field, how our thoughts, what we do, what we say can actually impact and change this field of consciousness. Yep. So being in the scalar field then can change your emotional and physical resonance.
It is. And this all starts to corroborate what we've learned for years, positive thinking, positive affirmations, being around good people, being happy, of good cheer, praying, meditating, avoiding, detraction, avoiding gossip. Let's face it, if you want to be miserable, you can be miserable. Really, life is a choice. Today, I always have this, if you will, blueprint for every day. I research, I have goals in my business, I have goals in research, and I have these positive affirmations, and I have a realistic approach about life. And every day I accomplish much today. Every day what I want to accomplish, I do accomplish because I have that blueprint. And it's a scalar energy blueprint. It's how I think. It's how I actuate my thoughts. It works. And then it becomes cumulative. And if you do that for weeks, for months, for years, you make progress. I started off with one man in Delhi, India, and look how it's mushroomed. Look how it's multiplied to 5,000 people who've provided me their photographs from an HIV clinic.
I know years ago we started together to do a group of homeless people.
Yep.
But we didn't have them all tested. It was an unofficial project, let's put it that way. But a group of them really reported doing much better.
Right.
I don't know if they got off the streets because that was such a long time ago. It really wasn't a scientific study, but I felt good about what was happening for them. So you mentioned Scalar, using it with your affirmations, with your, charging up everything in your life.
Right. Yes. Yes. For instance, I have friends in Hawaii that send me photographs of the ohia tree, OHIA, OHIA. This tree has a fungus now, and I'm able to, by way of a photograph of a tree, pinpoint that fungus and eradicate it. All done on the photographic force field, all done in the quantum field. So imagine what this means now to not only to animal husbandry, but to plants, to crops, to nature, to be able to take a photograph of part of a forest and eradicate a blight.
Wow.
I have heard of this.
It's
I have a friend or a woman I know who works with another kind of instrument, and they put the instrument out in the field and they get rid of all the bugs, all the the pests and microbes that you're talking about by using Scalar. So in your case, you don't need to put an instrument in the garden. You just send the photo to you.
Yes.
And that can...
Exactly, Joan. See, everything has to have an economy of motion, and the effort has to be almost effortless. So what's my point? Everybody has a cell phone. Everybody can take a cell phone photograph and then send it to me. And this is the way we're going to change the world. Pennies on the dollar. It's inexpensive. It's quick. It's safe. It's easy. All by way of photographs, whether it's a photograph of a group or one person, it doesn't matter, or plants. And this is how we can improve the human condition. This is how we can really make an impact upon the world. We are a grassroots effort. I want to keep this as a grassroots effort. It's simple, it's clean, there's no corruption. I ask the people of the world to support us. At least go to our website and look at what we have to offer. If this resonates with you, we have 15 days of free sessions for everybody in the world. Just help us get the word out. We are grassroots. I want to keep it as grassroots. I don't want the corruption of corrupt governments and corrupt corporations involved.
Right. They're not going to like what you're doing. Let's face it.
No.
Healing the world is our mission.
Yes.
But not quite the others. Victoria, any comments, love?
Oh, what's really exciting for me, this feels like we're just touching the tip of the iceberg of what's possible.
You're right.
With the scalar energy. I mean, and we know, why Tesla was written out in a sense because I always say whenever there's an issue on the planet, just follow the money.
Exactly.
Right. And so for me, the sense I get with this is we're just starting to grasp what's possible with this. And it's interesting because I was having a conversation last night with a group of my students, and we were talking about high-speed travel. And I think I see this replacing our current, let's face it, even trains and airplanes they're slow.
Yes, they are.
And we're just scratching the surface of what's possible with energy when we understand that in the quantum field, there's no resistance.
Yes. Exactly.
So everything can change when there's no resistance.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Bravo. Well spoken. Exactly. There's no interference. There's no resistance. And so you can have dominion over the matter. You can have dominion over nature. Absolutely.
And it doesn't really matter what you are. I have to say, I finally grasped it today, and I should really have known better, like this whole understanding of the quantum field. But you've explained it in a way that I really get, that I've been using it. I use it all the time without calling it scalar or without even calling it quantum.
Yeah, let me boil this down and make this so simple for your audience, ladies. The human mind and the human heart function by way of scalar energy. How can we think? It's scalar intelligent. How do we feel? What gives the heartbeat? Scalar intelligence. So consciousness, scalar energy, the 0 point field is responsible for our thinking, our memory. Right? It's responsible for our heartbeat, our emotions. It's the life force. Your brain, your mind needs the life force. Your heart, your emotions need the life force. Once we understand that, we realize that scalar energy is the animating force of everything. Everything.
Because it's in consciousness. Okay.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just there in this energetic field
Yes.
that we can't see.
And it has to be. Consciousness has to be everywhere to give the universe order, structure. Without consciousness, without intelligence, we'd have chaos. You wouldn't have a universe. So we're now at what Tesla called the wheel work of nature. When you can control consciousness, when you can control scalar energy, you're in the driver's seat. You'll be able to command nature. I mean every word of that.
I think this is really, I'm as excited as when I first connected with you years ago. Honest, I'm more excited than ever because I think I actually understand it better.
You two are so astute. You're both students. You get it. You've studied this. You realize this is abstract. I realize that the energy is invisible, but nonetheless, it's real. And then if you see how this plays out in nature, then you have to deduce, or at least theorize, how does this work? Why? Why do we have structure in the universe? What gives the universe structure?
It's so interesting because we do a lot of work on consciousness and we're always talking about consciousness, but not the healing benefits of this consciousness field or how to work within that in a concrete way. I understand concrete. It's not concrete in the way I would have thought, but it's concrete because there's some kind of structure in it that happens.
Yes. Yes. Many times you've seen these before and after photographs of water. Water would be without shape, would be just bland. And then if you would pray or send positive affirmations to water, you would see a different crystalline structure. It's almost beautiful. Okay. Dr. Emoto did that and others have done that. So what is the prayer? What is the intention? You're imparting scalar energy on water. And because of that, the structure of water is enhanced. And you see the beauty. You see water come alive with different structures, different geometric forms. What was the animating force? Well, the mind, prayer, but what is that? It's consciousness. It's scalar energy.
About what I'm thinking of is, in a sense, is like capturing light. But what's interesting is because you can't put light in a bottle. And then I realized that's kind of what Edison did when he figured out how to put light in a bottle. Right? Then how do we capture this scalar energy? I think that's the technology we're going to start seeing being more and more created. How do we capture that and actually use it? Yeah. And we're learning how to use it as our own body because it is one way that God manifests itself as energy, pure energy. And what I was saying a couple of years ago to people is that there is energy out there that just because we haven't quantified it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There's still energy forms, energy waves we've never discovered. And that, and so people think it's so funny because some human beings think, we know everything, we possibly know about everything. But the older I get, the more I know I don't know. And so that there's still so much more to learn about the invisible worlds, the invisible realm, the quantum realm, and how we can use it to make this a better Earth and human experience.
You're so right, Victoria. And I want to just interrupt for 1 second. I've been doing a lot of research on Tartaria, which was a civilization that existed here. There's finding a lot of evidence of it. And they based their cities on Tesla type energy. They took their electricity, all their energy came directly from source. So their buildings were set up with these antennas or spiros. We see them in all of the old buildings today, and they were built around starports with water all around the city to conduct the electricity. And in the readings I've done about it, they said that these cities actually caused happiness, allowed for the happiness. This is what really hit me, that they were designed to actually help people fulfill their potential and be happy, live a fulfilled life. And I'm thinking that the scalar energy is very similar to the way they were using that energy from the sun.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Many people say that when we have this chakra balancing through scalar energy, people say they're happier, that their mood elevates. They're simply in a state of tranquility, or some people simply say, first, I'm happy and I don't know why, but I'm happier. It doesn't mean that their problems go away. It changes their mood. It does elevate their mood. Now, how do we do that? By the brain waves and the 7 chakras are composed of scalar energy. So if you can have a favorable influence upon brain waves and the 7 chakras, sure, people are going to be happier. Some people say that they've been able to give up cigarettes and alcohol because of these sessions, because it's corrective. It not only reprograms the mind and the chakras, it's corrective.
It's like an adaptogen.
You can't go wrong with this. It's perfect energy. It's perfect.
So what the adaptogens do, they cause a harmonizing in your body of whatever is out of balance. So for instance, we had this comment here, can you help with this particular condition? But I would think then that by sending in a photo, the technology itself will send what will resonate in a harmonious frequency. Is that right?
Yeah, and I want to make this clear. I'm not a medical professional. I'm working with a different type of energy and a different science. This is why we offer the 15 days of free sessions. Whatever somebody feels, whatever they think their condition is, emotional, medical, submit your photograph, and it's the energy, it's the divine essence that will perform the healing. I'm not a healer. I work with energy that's healing, and we work in the quantum field. So I take out of the human equation, I take out human reasoning, and I just leave it all up to God, which is it's his energy, and he will heal as he sees fit.
And so it is.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And so it is. So guys, any more questions? Give you another minute. Any questions, Victoria?
Any questions?
Comments?
Yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited because I see what's happening in the world around us, and I know it's really frightening for people who don't understand what it is. But we see the breakdown of all the old systems and all the old ways of doing things, and I get excited when I see it happening. I look forward to when I don't have to pay $400 gas bill.
Right.
I just got my gas bill. Whoa, wow, the price of utilities went through the roof in January. And so there's that. There's being able to power our worlds with a higher power. Ooh, that's good. That just came in. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It really is.
Let me speak to that. And you're absolutely right. If you see many of the world systems collapsing, losing power, chaotic, it's because they should collapse. Why? They are chaotic. Why? They don't work. So if you see this world in a state of chaos, the systems, the protocol in place, it was never designed to work.
That's right.
It's chaotic. It's poorly designed. You can say that about government, business, academia. If we see society collapsing in certain aspects, what would you expect? It was designed. It was designed out of chaos. What will it render? Chaos. This is not eloquent design. It was designed to subjugate people. The military-industrial complex is not our friend today. Okay. And if it's collapsing, well, it's collapsing under its own weight because it's inefficient. It doesn't work.
Yep.
Well said, Tom. Higher power in our world, the scalar raises the vibrational frequency, shifting the consciousness, which is changing with our thoughts, even as we're talking today.
Amen.
And sending out this energy around the planet. I appreciate you so much, Tom. I appreciate that you're in my life.
Likewise, both of you.
You know, that I've gotten to meet you. I'm happy to have you on the show. And I just feel really excited about it. So here's another question. Do we send a picture of our whole self or just, I think just a headshot, right?
Just a headshot. And the age of the photograph does not matter because scalar energy is timeless. The photograph could be 30 years old. It doesn't matter. Your signature is that from birth. So the age of photograph doesn't matter. Just send a headshot. You don't need to take your clothes off.
Well, okay, guys. So that's even the best news. Okay.
Just a facial shot. Yes.
We have a sense of humor here.
Yeah, we do.
Wow. All right, Tom. Well, guys, I think this has been great. I love having you on the show, Tom. I love co-hosting with Victoria. Victoria, any other final words from you?
You know what, Tom? We are going to miss you this year, the Conscious Life Expo. Joan and I both get to go, and we're both going to be very busy. And I know you're missing it this year, so I just wanted to say that we're sorry we're not going to be seeing you this year.
Maybe next year, but thank you both. I think highly of the expo. It brings a lot of good people together.
I remember when we brought you out there a couple of years ago. It was a big deal. In fact, I got an angel film from being at your booth. So
really?
Came out and she actually put me in a film, came out and videoed me and everything in this great angel film. Dawn, God, I should remember it and advertise that. Mandy, I think you can put your dog in the photo. Tom, is that a yes?
Oh, yes, of course, Mandy. Yes. Yeah, and family and friends, as long as you have their permission. You can send us 5-6 photographs if you want. Send your entire family.
We can have the permission. Okay.
Yeah, your permission of the family. Yeah.
Okay. So what happens if we say we have political people we're not happy with, if we send their photos?
Don't. Just, you need permission.
We got to have their permission, Joan.
Don't even mention that, Joan.
I'm sorry about that, guys. I have a devious mind. Okay. If we can heal the world. Any last comments, Tom?
No, thank you both again. Thank you for your effort. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attendance. This is real, people. And sooner or later, the scalar energy will be the leverage that the world needs to change this world, to pivot this world, and to improve the world condition. We need a new technology, and scalar energy will liberate us. So my final comment, scalar energy will liberate mankind.
Oh, I'm going to write that down.
Love that.
Scalar energy will liberate mankind. I have to fix that. I got so excited. I twisted up my words. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Guys, thank you all for being with us. Please check out Tom at scalarlight.com. Check out my co-host, VictoriaReynolds.com. Also check out Neil at Portal to Ascension and New Realities Television, Ellen Steinfeld, who are also our sponsors on this. And check out my website, joanofangels.com. We all love to work in this quantum field, and we are just also grateful for your presence in our lives. Oh, yeah, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share both Victoria and my channels, if you will, and everyone else's too. Thank you so much. All right.
I am